Triba, hope you all had a great weekend. We're excited to be back at it with B. What up, B?
Hi everyone, we're back, and
Mm,
I'm also here with my bird, Krona.
What's the
She's
bird's
gonna
name?
talk for a little bit. Krona, Crona, not Corona.
Crona. Crona.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. What kind of bird is it?
he's a parakeet, a recessive pied colored, so they don't have the same pattern as a lot. They have a lot of white, and they're a little sear. Their little nose
Oh,
doesn't change colors like some of the other parakeets.
it's so
Very
pretty.
fun bird fact for today.
He's so relaxed too. He's just chilling, like, oh yes. Oh,
Oh yeah,
and there he
my dog.
goes.
My dog's trying to
Bye
get
bye.
her. Oh no.
All
But
right.
we'll hang
Well.
out. So yeah, we're here today for our workshop on content creation and live streaming.
Hmm.
Emma is joining us today, and we are going to be discussing how to reply to like troll comments and negative comments on your posts. And do you interact with them? Do you not? Do you come back with something funny? How do you deal with these people?
Yeah.
Which is a really hard part with social media and content creation because sometimes you take it really personally and it can be very discouraging. So I think it's an important topic to cover.
Very true. And I'm noticing my daughter's show is getting picked up on the OBS, so I'm just gonna mute my mic when I'm not talking, guys. All right, well, let's get into it then. Emma's here as well. Let me turn on non-video participants so I can show her. Emma, are you turning on your camera today?
Probably not. I got the toaster oven camera.
But you just turned it on. Okay, it's all right. B, you're gonna be center stage today.
That sounds good.
B's used to it. She's a professional Twitch streamer. Also, shout out to B's channel. Go check out BU TV on Twitch, or I think you're also on YouTube and everywhere else. So, great content, lifestyle streaming, and she basically does all this stuff for a living. So y'all can learn a lot. And hop in Triba, discord.gg/Triba if you want to participate in these. Ask questions, hang out with us in co-working. So let's talk about trolls and the haters. How do we handle the haters?
I feel like there's a couple different approaches that people typically take. I, I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of a difference between live streaming and replying to people, and then making YouTube videos or content for social
True.
media and having comments that sit on those posts as well. Um, so in the past, I've approached trolls in multiple different ways. When I first started streaming, I would engage with them and try to turn them into viewers. Some people are really good with this tactful approach. Someone comes in, tries to make you say something stupid or just harassing you in different ways. Sometimes you can turn it into really funny situations and play off of those people, kind of like comedians at a comedy club, and someone heckles them and they turn it into the joke. Um, some people are really good at that, and they can navigate that. Other people, they'll either have their mods deleted immediately, ignore it, it never happened. And there's just different ways to do it. I don't know what the right or wrong way is. I think we're just going to be discussing how we each kind of individually do that. And it will depend on the person. Some people, it might hurt them a little bit more. It might be way more uncomfortable to deal with that. Other people, it rolls off their shoulder and they're like, whatever. Like people are weird. But during some of our marketing classes with Liam, Liam encouraged replying to comments, which I have been using a lot. I reply to like everyone who comments on my post now, pretty much. Um, and then yeah, I had a post I did the other day on YouTube. Comments were a little bit more negative than I'm used to on Instagram, and I was like, do I reply to these people? Do I not? Do I try to educate? How do we handle it? Or should I delete them off? Or do we leave them? Maybe other people will engage with these negative comments and create more comments on your post, making more reach. So there's, I guess there's pros and cons to both of those methods.
So on that note, um, I have had experience in the concept of leaving kind of more negative comments. Some of the accounts that I have, like specifically in this scenario, this account isn't a creator. It's more of just like an entity, so there's not that much to like personally attack. Usually people are just arguing over the content in the post, like, oh, what brand is that guitar? I like that guitar, and then somebody comments under that person, well, you're stupid for liking that guitar. And it's people devolve into kindergartner arguments just like that. But older posts still distribute. I'm talking about on social media, so this is Instagram that this happened on. Old posts still distribute to people. So there was this post, and it maybe got 20,000 likes, and it died. Like, dropped off the map. I was like, okay, whatever. Got 20,000 likes. I'm fine with that. 2 months later, somebody replied to a comment on that Instagram post and started an argument that turned into a 20 plus long comment thread argument. And it brought more people into the argument. And people were checking back on that post to look at the argument. And now it's sitting at 1.2 million views
Oh my
and over
gosh.
80,000 likes.
Wait, that one of your posts?
We went from 20,000
Wow.
likes to 80,000 likes because someone started a fight.
That's
2 months
great.
After
Wow.
People
engaging
like
everybody.
controversy.
People love controversy. People love arguments. And as much as it might not be ethical to say, you see it every day. When you look at news on social media, your headlines are trying to spur comments. People probably aren't going to read your article, but if you have a good enough headline, they're going to share the post and start an argument on Facebook with your Aunt Wilma talking about whether this is true or not. And everybody's going to go in the comments and point fingers at each other, and it's just going to make the post more popular. And at the end of the day, that's what they want. But
So
yeah.
So you're suggesting to leave them now. Would you personally engage with them as the company in any way, or do you just kind of leave it and hope that other people are?
It really depends on what you want your brand to represent. That's where you have to think about, what do you want if you're talking about like your streaming as your personal brand, would you want your followers or the people who watch your streams to be there for the person that would egg on a troll? Or would you want your followers to be there for the person that's going to ignore them or just diffuse the situation? And so some people love chaos. Some people's streams thrive on the concept of absolute chaos all around them for the entirety of the stream. Some people don't allow any chaos, and they keep it very minimal and they keep it very calm. And so, depending on what you want, that's when you kind of go back to your brand identity or the personality you want online. I'll have some clients that just want me to delete the hate comments because they're a very professional brand. They're very prim and proper, and that's perfectly fine because that's their target audience. And I'll have another client that's just like screenshot their comment and make an entire post about how they're a moron. And it's just complete polar opposites, and you just have to play to what your audience or what you want your audience to want. If you surround yourself with a community that expects chaos, they're going to engage and react for chaos. And if you surround yourself with a community that doesn't act like immature, it's not always immature. Sometimes it can be done tasteful, but it's a very fine line to walk for that tasteful, like engaging with an obvious troll. And sometimes it's not an obvious troll. Sometimes it's just somebody that just leaves a comment and you read it and you're like, did you really just say that? You probably didn't mean to say that, but you just said that, and you just left yourself wide open for the next 180 comments you're going to get on this Instagram post about how you probably didn't think about that before you said it.
Well, that's a great point about really knowing what the values of your company are, what you're trying to say with it, and then leaning on those when you're not sure how to approach a situation. Um, so yeah, that makes sense because when I used to kind of egg on the trolls, and there was a lot of chaos in my stream, and it was kind of part of it. Like, oh, what kind of spicy stuff is she gonna say today to these people? But then I evolved as a content creator, and I ended up a lot more family friendly with my content. And then we stopped engaging with them. And anytime someone would come in and troll or something, my community was so loving and like kind that we'd either just like remove it or we'd turn it into kind of like an educational learning moment or something if we could do that. Um, but yeah, it's very different vibes, and you really need to lean on the values of your brand. and know what you want for yourself. If those comments really kind of irritate you and you don't like it, yeah, remove them. I know there's like popular like Twitter people, they have a team that delete all the negative comments and block accounts so that the person doesn't have to consume that, because it can tear some people
Yeah,
apart.
especially like big public figures. It's kind of funny to think about how people can outsource an entire team of people or just hire a VA to single-handedly go through and just delete hate comments just so that the person doesn't have to see them. I'm a firm believer in the concept that if you're going to be a content creator, you have to get thicker skin. You're putting yourself
Yes.
out there, and you need to, you know, if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. And there's nothing wrong with not being able to handle it. But if you're going to be putting yourself in this position where you're creating content and you're putting it out to the world, it's the same thing as business. If you're making a product or you're selling a service, you're going to be open to scrutiny. And as a content creator, your content is your service or your product. So you have to be willing to take scrutiny, because if not, you're just living in la la land. And there are creators like on TikTok, there's people who just turn off their comment threads. And then it just creates this really, really toxic community that's just kind of brewing in the background and just waiting for the right moment for those comments to be turned on. And all hell will break loose.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
Especially if you're like a controversial content creator. Like if you've done something controversial in the past, you just turn off your comments. And what are they going to do?
Yeah, because they're gonna keep coming at you if you've done something to tick off of a community. So, huh? Emma, do you find that some platforms are more friendly than others?
It depends. Really depends on your niche. So that account that I was telling you about that had the 1 million views off of that argument, honestly, there's no friendly community. Probably the friendliest is on TikTok, and at best, that's crap in a handbasket. And Facebook's a war zone half the time. Instagram, it really depends on what the content's about, because if you post A is going to get good feedback and minimal arguments, and post B is going to just only be arguments. But that's how accounts like that thrive. They thrive on people commenting, and it's not just arguments. The concept of engagement, you're always like commenting or adding a hook into your post. Like Instagram or TikTok, people are always saying add a hook into your video, add a comment below, ask them a question of the day, what's your favorite color, to comment in the post so that they're getting more comments, engaged with it. It's not always a bad thing to be encouraging engagement with your community, but usually the most successful way to do it is to do it in a negative manner. You can start an argument, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get more engagement than you are with a positive interaction, because people get emotional, people bring in their friends, and then they send screenshots to their friends about this argument that's happening in the comments. And it's like the cheapest and most effective way to create that additional engagement.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. I just wish we had your face, even if it's not great quality.
No.
Oh my gosh, Emma.
Says no.
I'll edit this afterwards. I'll edit this for the TikTok afterwards, and I'll just put in. There's an episode of South Park. I was gonna make a TikTok on this actually today, so this could be something that we could bounce off of. Me and B have been kind of talking in the background about what's been working and what's not been working on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just kind of fun for me to play around and see what's working and what's not working. And Musically's trending again, doing like the lip syncing cute little
Oh
videos.
wow.
That's trending.
Nice.
But what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks is creating very low quality content. Just like
Yes.
just posting random videos. Like, I'm not taking the time to go through and edit it and really stabilize the content and make it very prim and proper and clear. Because sometimes people like engaging with raw content because they can relate to it more. But this, like, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to actually have prep days and set up my cameras and set up my lights and all that and edit the content to be professional looking, as much as I hate doing that, because I hate standing in front of the camera with a, high quality and I'm going with the basic hooks. I'm working with that, like, oh, you have to do this to be a popular TikTok creator, and you start the video off and you're telling somebody that you're doing something wrong. That's basically, the last 2 weeks have been doing whatever I want, and the engagement's been meh. So next week, or this week, I'm kind of going with that concept of egging on negative engagement. It might seem a little, why would you be egging on negative engagement? Because if you tell somebody they're doing something wrong, they're more likely to comment and say, no, I'm not.
No.
I'm not doing something wrong. And okay.
Yep.
You just commented on my post. You took the bait. I don't really
Nice.
care if you're doing something wrong or not. I'm just trying to get that comment.
I like that you're experimenting with it to see where it goes and like how you can craft it later. And yeah, because people do scroll and they are looking, even if they're not aware they're looking to correct someone else. It makes them feel better because I knew something you didn't know. Yeah, I'm in a bunch of poodle groups, and the other day they were arguing about the proper term for a brown colored poodle is brown. People call them chocolate poodles all the time. They're not chocolate. They're brown poodles by definition of the AKC and stuff. There's chocolate labs. They're not brown labs. So there's this whole like argument, and yeah, it was something such a simple comment of, here's some facts, and no, we're gonna argue it because I prefer to call my dog chocolate. Like, really? But yeah, it keeps popping up in my notifications that people are commenting and arguing, and yeah, you want to engage in it. Like, let's see what people are saying. So like having to actually think about how to set those posts up to create that is interesting, and it does feel weird. But those comments really do make that post spread a lot more when you get people engaging that way. I've definitely noticed an increase um, by replying to a lot more people than I used to. It's been really good. So yeah, trying to create content that people want to comment on instead of just like. You want them to share it and you want them to comment. I think that's a huge thing to focus on.
And it creates like a really horrible ethical problem. Like, I'm not one to really talk on ethical problems because at the end of the day, it is my job for this social media account to get engagement out. And depending on the client, they don't care how you do it. I'm not saying go out and buy bots because that's not going to help you, but in the way that you structure your content, negative engagement's easier to get. And honestly, one of the funniest ways that I have managed to get more comments is by intentionally putting typos in my caption. Because people will comment and correct me. If I make a TikTok and I intentionally add I put the wrong there in the video, I'm going to have 4 or 5 comments going, well, you used the wrong there. So how are we supposed to trust your professionalism?
Sneaky.
And of course you can always say, oh yeah, I totally did that on purpose, when in reality you did it on accident.
Whoa.
Ow.
Was that Ubani?
Yeah.
Ubani, I don't know what's going on, but your audio was coming through your mic, so I had to server mute you. You gotta fix that. I think it's your audio input or something.
It's all good. But wait, what was I saying?
About creating typos. Like, you could go back in the comments and tell them you did it on purpose. Like that.
Yeah, like I totally found out about this on accident. I accidentally like spelled mortgage wrong on a real estate client's post. And I had like 2 or 3 comments of people just commenting, "Oh, that's not how you spell mortgage," or alley, like alleyway. Just whoops. Whatever, it's not detrimental to the post. But those posts got so much more engagement and got shared so many more times than everything being prim and proper and perfect. Because people love to pick apart your content. People love to sit on their high horse and go, well, you did that and that's not perfect, so obviously you're a hack. And so the way people got around that is by acting like, well, I did that on purpose, and you're the hack for thinking that I'm the hack. And it's just like constantly you're going around in circles and you're going around in circles, and you're like, well, I did that on purpose. And the other person's like, well, no, you didn't, because obviously, as a content creator, you're trying to make everything as perfect as possible. And sometimes intentionally not making everything perfect is kind of like a sneaky way to get that additional engagement.
What do you think, Kayla? Kayla just joined us. She's a marketing professional from DMC, the founder of DMC.
We've been talking about replying to trolls. Do you engage? Do you not? And then how creating like controversial content, or creating intentional typos or things that people are going to comment on, how that increases the post reach and engagement.
Okay, so those are a lot of different things. I don't know. I don't, at least for the typos or things like that. I think once in a while, right? Because if you make it a habit, then you're starting to undermine like your own authority, right? By appearing that you're not thorough enough to check your work. You know, like who's gonna take advice from someone who is constantly misspelling things or like making forever? I think that just undermines your authority and your whole like purpose. But as far as trolls go, that's an interesting question, and I think it depends on the severity of the troll itself. Right? Like I definitely wouldn't engage someone who is like really off the deep end with like some hate speech or like some really offensive stuff. Um, but if someone is just trying to, I don't know, like push your buttons a little bit, maybe like one or two replies until it becomes a bit untenable, and then just let it go. Because generally other people will start to jump in, and then it's kind of beyond out of your control, I guess, from that point.
That's a really good point. When people cross the line, like if it's breaking TOS, that's the time where you cut that, you just delete it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's definitely a line there of this went way too far.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Because like all a troll wants is a reaction. That is why they're in your comments. And sometimes you can play with it in your favor. You can take that troll comment and you can make a good clip that you'd post on Instagram later. But it's kind of, back to that concept of what do you want your identity to be online? Do you want to be known as the person that's got chaos, or do you want to be known as the person that diffuses situations, or like in your, like as your example be, you can take it if it has potential to turn it into an educational moment that further feeds back into your brand and your community and the identity you choose for yourself online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that kind of goes to the, do you want quality over quantity? If you're trying to have a very professional brand and kind people. I watch a lot of homesteading videos, and they're very wholesome. Like, we're raising chickens and taking care of our families. The comments do tend to be pretty positive, and the people tend to be pretty positive. But they're always going to have people in the comments like, oh, you can't do it that way, blah blah blah. But there are definitely brands where it's like, yeah, I'm here for the controversy, I'm here for the fights in the comments, I'm here for Wendy's is always being spicy, places like that.
Slim Jim, I love Slim Jim. Delingo, the little green owl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that is like the definition of chaos, and I love it. At one point or another on one of my clients' TikToks, this was one that I'm like really close with. Like, I work with her nearly every day. So sometimes we kind of go off the deep end with some of the stuff just to see how would this work, because her target demographic does not use social media. They are really old. To just put it as simply and as bluntly as possible, they're not on TikTok. They're probably on Facebook. So TikTok's just kind of like free reign. We can do whatever we want, and we still generate sales on it. And so she does custom sewing. So I commented, we collected, we went and looked at thirst traps, shirtless men. And we commented, hi, sweetheart. If you need a shirt that bad, DM me. We'll make you one custom. And it it just generated so many new followers and so many new likes, and we actually ended up having a lead come through because they thought it was so funny. And they contacted us on Instagram, not even on TikTok. They went to Instagram, scrolled through the portfolios, and booked a fitting session.
That's
So
awesome.
sometimes you can have chaos play in your favor, but you have to do it in a tasteful way that represents your brand. Because she's a very, very funny person. Like, I could totally hear her saying that to somebody in real life. Would I put it on Facebook? No, I would not put it on Facebook. But you can also kind of pivot your brand identity depending on what platform you're on. You have to do it in a way that is tasteful or makes sense. But sometimes the content you'd post for a commerce, like retail, you don't have the same demographic of followers on Facebook as you do TikTok. The majority of people on TikTok aren't over 50. The majority of people that follow that Facebook page are over 50. And it's easier to talk about like the things that she sells in that store for younger people on TikTok than it is to, hey, grandparent, Christmas is only 10 months away. We have new stuff in. Have a birthday coming up. It's just like, it gets old. Like, if they're coming in to buy a present, they're coming in to buy a present. But if somebody's trying to start a new hobby, you go on TikTok and you make a little ramble about it, or you comment on a thirst trap. Because people find it funny. They're like, oh, this brand isn't completely dead. Like, they're not dry. They're not soulless. They'll do something funny every once in a while. And I like that because I'll consume that content.
That's really cool. I know you talk a lot about engaging in other people's content. What, other than like commenting towards the poster, do you engage with the people who have commented? Do you engage with troll comments in someone else's post, or do you engage? How do you go about that?
There's been a few times on, this is an account that does not care about professionalism. Like, obviously, I'm not going to go out and start cussing and like being really inappropriate, but like that concept of, you can tease somebody in a comment, like tease another brand that they work with and comment running out of content ideas and comment that under his post. Because he'll do the same thing to our posts, but it's fine because you sat on a video call with him yesterday and you know that you're fine with each other, but it's still engagement because people will be like, oh my gosh, there's some friendly competition going on between these two brands. And because they engage with each other, people, they egg it on. And so sometimes I'll go under this specific guy's post and say like maybe there's a hate comment, and they leave themselves open for like a really corny joke. And they'll say something and I'll just comment underneath it with a Joe Mama joke.
Whoa.
Is it professional? No. Is it funny? Yeah. Did I screenshot it and send it to my boss? Yes. Did he say, that's the funniest thing I've read this week? Yeah, he did. And so it depends on that brand identity once again, and feel like I'm going to keep saying that over and over
No,
again.
it's true though.
If your brand identity is fun, and a lot of the time people are trying to make themselves seem like a fun brand, like if you want to be fun, you have to do fun things. You have to be engaging with people in your community. And so like if you engage with other content creators, like for B, if you engage with other content creators, more than likely they're going to comment back. But something funny I've kind of like experienced as like a social media management and website design, they're kind of greedy. If you comment, I'll go and I try to do like my 20 minutes, and I'll go on and I'll comment on TikTok and a bunch of other people that I follow. They won't respond to you. They'll just reply with like some emojis, or they'll just like your comment and not do anything. And it's like, you're a social media manager. Your last post, or the post I just commented on, was about community engagement. And all you can do is give me a dry heart emoji.
Dry heart.
Like, just this dry, like, oh, here's a heart emoji.
Yeah.
Low effort content. Really? But like on other accounts, I'll comment and engage with other people, and they'll follow, and they'll be the best followers I've ever had. All because I commented or engaged with them or was basically decent. So like on my Instagram, my target demographic is like small businesses. So the majority of people that follow me are small businesses in the area that I operate out of. I don't have a lot of social media managers following me because why would a social media manager in my area follow their competition? They
I
do,
follow
but they don't
them
engage
all.
with my content. They don't engage with my content. They don't comment. They don't, you know. So when I comment on small businesses, they go back and look at my content and they engage too
Mhm.
because they're also a small business and I'm posting content relevant to their area. But if I go on and I comment like, "Oh, this graphic design looks so great. I love this content plan that you made," under a social media manager's post, they're not going to do anything. Maybe they'll like 2 posts, but there's no, it really depends on your niche because
Mhm.
sometimes people are just quite frankly greedy with what they're doing. They just think, "Oh, I can go out and post this and then not expect anything back when people comment on it." Like you don't need to expect anything back, but you gotta play the game to get results.
Mhm.
I would say that's probably a common problem amongst streamers, like just being greedy with their comments and stuff. It's like I want everyone to comment on my stuff and like my stuff, but I don't want to give back to that. I just expect it. Like I expect you to engage with my post as a viewer or whatever. Um, and then yeah, amongst the other streamers, if you're in competition, if you view it that way, yeah, you don't want to comment or share their post or whatever because you don't want them to get more views. Which is not a great way to go about it, in my opinion. I would much rather have a bunch of cool people that want to see me do well, and I want to see them do well, and we can all engage and have fun. Um, you want to find those people for sure. But yeah, if you're a brand or if you are the brand and you think you're better than your audience, and yeah, you're not replying and not engaging with them, like what is it that you're building? You know, are you trying to build a community or are you just trying to get attention? Like what's
Totally.
yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any thoughts, Samuel?
Yeah, I really think it does come down to what's your brand positioning, because if you're trying to be very professional, there's a line you don't want to cross. Um, and I think for me, like for White Rabbit's brand, it kind of falls in this weird gray area where I am still working with very like emotional, passionate, I guess like highly specific communities. So there is a lot of that like sense of competition to a scarcity mindset, and I think getting out of that mindset of a scarcity mindset allows you to work with people in a very collaborative way. That is in essence what we're kind of talking about here. And sometimes if your brand, if you're if it's right for your brand, maybe there's a little back and forth jesting and competition, friendly competition. But I think for a majority of professional businesses, engaging with people's comments, or I mean content, even if it's you would consider it maybe your direct competition, look at it like a collaborative experience or a collaborative effort to, start up that conversation, kickstart it. Because if they see you doing that with your stuff and you start engaging with their content without feeling like it's taking away from your business, you who knows, you may even find somebody who's looking at them but doesn't feel like they're the right fit, and then they see your comments, they see you engaging, they're like, oh well, this is more what I need. So there you go. I mean, it's not a scarcity environment, that you're dealing with the whole global internet or the whole global market. So if you and another person are in network and you guys are both adding to the algorithm or adding to the stats and the engagement stats that are going to boost both of your content, that's beneficial. You get more eyes on it. you know I think that's my general take, is like I don't look at it like any competition. I engage with pretty much everything I see that I'm interested in on LinkedIn or something, even though most of the people I follow are like in the same space, community, marketing, engagement. Then again, I mean, I think Discord's the perfect place to really tap into the stuff we're talking about. Like you get threads, and general chat is always just random stuff, right? And sometimes you go off for like people will talk for all day, or multiple day conversation about the randomest, stupidest thing. And I guess if you can do that with the algorithm on those social medias and get people talking like that, it really does boost your exposure, right? I mean, you guys would know more about that than me. I'm just a Discord dude.
So Emma, should I come on your post and intentionally start start
I feel like you
conversations
already
that are
I feel like you already started some conflict here, B, with that whole siding with Michelle on the tortilla challenge. Come
Oh
on,
gosh, what is
come
this?
on. We knew each other. I thought you'd have my back, and you're double crossing me and going and
Oh, this is already happening, huh?
Oh man, it's been eating at Emma for weeks.
I was just digging this hole in my heart. Oh, B, I thought I could trust you and you'd have my back, and here you go, and you just stab me in the heart.
Oh.
So what does that
That
make
was
you
so
want to do?
fun.
Does that
That was
make you
such a
just
fun
want to
post.
go talk on her or comment on hers? Repay the, I guess, torture?
Oh, I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
wait for the perfect moment. I'm gonna wait for the
Oh no.
perfect moment, and I'm
Oh,
just
that-
I'm gonna strike like a snake in the grass.
I'm gonna read.
I'm gonna collect some really like good information on B, and then just go into one of her streams,
No.
and then just dump it all out on the table. And oh, all right, guys, I've done my work. Bye.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get some defenses set up.
But like the entire concept of engagement, especially like within Triba, like you're making connections and people are engaging on your posts. Like I might be engaging with somebody that is, why would I be engaging with this person? It's completely not relevant to me or my business, but I like it. So I'm gonna comment and go, oh, that's so cool, or whoa. And so I don't know. I just think there's a lot of power within the concept of community engagement. And people try to argue that like commenting on your Instagram is community management, but if you're just like doing random, not even outreach, but if you're just commenting on relevant posts, I don't even think it's management. It's just engagement. You're engaging with your niche and you're engaging with your community.
I think the platforms like that too, where you're not just posting and only engaging with your own post when you get out and you go to other people's pages and comment and spread yourself across these platforms more. I think you get way more reach and
Well, because a social media platform's entire purpose is to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. So of course they're gonna like it when you spend more time engaging and doing more stuff like that. But so I was sitting here and we were talking about commenting, and I just thought of the funniest. Like, do we have any accounting people in Tribo, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
out of
okay,
3,000 people, yeah.
I'm gonna pitch this concept to you guys.
The ones that watch our VODs and videos, maybe not, but
An online accounting company or business or person that comments on people like rappers doing like money spreads, or like people who like are obviously flexing money, and then commenting on it and going, you need help claiming that on your IRS form, whatever number, reach out to us today. Or, you know, people like making money like flexes on Instagram, and then just commenting on it as like the super professional like headshot, like your super professional headshot as an accountant. And then going on these posts of like somebody flexing like a bag of money in a Lamborghini. Like, have you considered investing in a Roth IRA? And just
I like it.
totally unhinged, but you know,
Just
accountants
like
are
you're
in high demand, so that's probably not really going to affect your clientele, especially if you're established in an area. It's just going to be it's going to be great advertising. It's going to be something you can screenshot and then post for yourself.
very true. One thing that this conversation has made me realize is for those out there who are afraid to post something, they're worried what the comments are going to be. Maybe those posts where you're worried about what the comments are going to be are the ones you really need to post. Where we get scared and
Or
we're like,
maybe
I don't want to
not.
deal with it. Well, it depends, right?
It really depends. I mean,
Depends.
sometimes the community, the entire conglomerate of the internet, if the entire conglomerate of the internet is shaming you, you might need to take a step back and kind of think about what you're doing. Because
That's
there's been,
true.
you know, there's quite a few people that are completely delusional on the internet, and the internet doesn't do a very good job of like disengaging with people who are completely delusional and they just feed into it.
mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, you know, as a person, I don't ever think that I'll get to the point where I'm completely disillusioned and I'm rambling on, well, I mean, I'm rambling on a Twitch stream right now. So I guess if I start getting hate comments about me needing to get institutionalized, I might actually listen, because you have to take a step back and look at your comments. And if all of your comments, like your community, are saying, we don't like this,
Yeah.
maybe you need to listen to them just a little bit and just kind of take a step back and look at what you've been doing and go, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have posted that.
Maybe not. Yeah. But there are topics that have one side or the other, and neither one are really wrong, but they're against each other, kind of
Oh,
like
totally.
like
Pineapple on pizza.
yeah, those types of things I won't post. I'm like, my dog wasn't brushed well enough today. I don't know if I can deal with someone saying that my dog needs to be brushed. That kind of thing
Oh
like
yeah, because
bothers
people are
me.
constantly like nitpicking, like they see something in the
Yeah.
background and go,
I
"Oh my
think
god,
that's
I
the
can't believe
biggest
you did
reason
that."
I don't
Yeah.
do
Your
more.
dog kibble? Oh my god.
I don't do more like parent founder, like, you know, dad entrepreneur stuff. The reason I don't do that is pretty much that very reason. I'm like, I don't need
Keyboard
people
warriors.
telling me how to raise my child. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how much I tune that out, some stuff gets through. Like, enough people telling you something, it's like it starts to wear on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
for sure,
personal
especially
experience.
yeah.
Maybe you're just
Especially-
gaslighting everybody, Sam, and in reality, there's a reason you can't share that content.
We said
You're
we
the
would
one-
talk
Emma,
about
what?
gaslighting today.
Emma, what? Just no.
But you're the
Just
one that brought it up.
you
Like, we
just
need to
shush.
have a little bit of gaslighting experiment in this. Let's do a 180 and pivot.
What are you doing here?
Sam.
No, 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 no,
Gaslight.
no, 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 no.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
I don't like this. I was making a clip and I don't know what happened.
If you're a
Perfect clip.
gaslighter gatekeeper, Twitter might be the right platform for you.
Oh, I
Girl
can't get
boss,
into Twitter. I
yeah.
can't get into Twitter. I can't.
And it's just like each platform has its own very like interesting community within it. Like when you think of Instagram, you think of these people commenting under these posts. And when you think of TikTok, I'm thinking of 120 13-year-olds commenting under my post and me going, "You're not my target audience. Stop engaging with my post before I delete it." Like sometimes I'm just straight up deleted a post because it has the wrong like target audience engaging with it. I don't want to have like 10,000 13-year-olds following me.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
a
the
really
age of my
interesting
brother.
idea.
That's like
Yeah.
like I'm not working with you. You're not a small bit like yeah, you could be a small business owner at 13, but that's not my target demographic.
Yeah.
Especially as like a service business. Sometimes this post's intention is to engage with this audience. Sometimes this post's intention is to engage with another audience. But if I post it hoping to go for audience A and I'm getting audience Z, I might just straight up delete the post because I'm like, this isn't getting what I want and it's going to result in something that's going to hurt me because these followers aren't going to engage with the content that I post in the future because it's not relevant to them.
What is that scratching noise?
Is it me?
Were you
It sounds like
scratching
you're
something?
filing your nails
Yeah, are you like
or
filing
something.
your nails or like scratching your
No,
keyboard?
I'm not.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it sounds like sandpaper.
That's lovely.
Maybe you're just like happen to be touching the mic or moving the mic.
It stopped.
How about now?
Yeah, it's good now.
It stopped when we brought it to your attention.
Maybe my phone, not my phone. I think my microphone was like rubbing against my jacket while I was
That
talking.
probably was, yeah. That was
would be it.
probably it. Well, I think this is really crucial to people learning about engagement. So I think it's been a valuable session so far. Anybody have any questions on Twitch or YouTube? I don't know if anybody this Monday morning is tuning in, but we've got some great clips here. I made a little archive thread so we can flip through.
God.
Yeah.
Me never watching anything that I'm in that Tribo shares. Just can't.
What?
Guys, I'm gonna have to hop off. I have to go deliver something.
Okay.
Thanks for chatting.
Yeah,
Emma.
thanks,
This was
Emma.
Oh,
really
this was
great.
fun.
Really enjoyed it. I've learned some things, so that was awesome.
All right, guys. Bye.
You're a fountain of knowledge, Emma. Just a fountain of
I'm a
knowledge.
fountain of something, and I don't think it's knowledge.
It's a fountain of chaos. Organized chaos. All right. We'll see you
That
later.
was great.
Thanks for
Well
sharing.
done. Yeah, I love Emma's content. She's always putting out some really fun stuff and
Yeah.
great approach, and there's a lot of thought. Yeah, you think Emma flies by the seat of her pants, but she really knows what she's doing
Yeah, she does.
while
And
flying by the seat of her pants.
it's fun to work with her too. I'm glad she's with Tribo.
Me too.
Yeah. And I think maybe she'll be helping with the White Rabbit stuff soon. Speaking of which, we are taking on the new project. I think we're gonna get a offer or proposal worked up to this week, so I'm excited.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting places. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'll
Love
have
how much you've been working towards that.
it's been a long time in the development. So I feel like it's the culmination of a lot of practice and preparation and trial and error too, and getting some great case studies. I think I don't really have any formal education that's powering this career or this business, right? It's just me learning and doing, uh, putting in the work to develop multiple iterations and, being willing to just scrap everything that I've done so far and start over when it's not working. That's been the biggest difficulty. I've struggled with doing that because I get attached. You invest so much time and energy in a community, and then you got to just walk away and be like, all right, well, that didn't work. Let's try something different. That's been the
Yeah.
journey.
Is that time sunk loss? What do they call that? I forget what
Sunken
it's called.
cost, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, that's why a lot of streamers don't stop, even if it's not like
Right, they'll just go on
becoming
streaming.
successful. They get stuck. They like I've spent so much time and money and people. There's a couple people here that rely
Yeah.
on me and stuff, and it's hard to like shift out of that. Um,
Yep.
that
Especially
that's
when you have that core little group of people, those 5 friends or 10 friends who are really dedicated and they make you feel like this is going somewhere when you're just not growing, you're not really headed towards an end point. Some people they want to get affiliate on Twitch, but that's really like no accomplishment. I'm almost embarrassed to tell people like I've gotten a bunch of accounts to affiliate. That's not that hard. That
it's
it's
yeah
not like
yeah. It might be when you're starting out and you don't know what you're doing, but and even getting partnership like okay so like a mixer like getting partnership was when the hard work starts.
yeah,
That's not the destination, and when you get there everything's great. When you get
right.
affiliate or you get partner, that's when the real work starts, and that's when you really need to be bringing your A game because people are putting money into you. You have to be there when you say you're going to be there. You need to be performing and entertaining and engaging, and it's a
It's like
lot,
you
and
work
it's
for a
yeah.
decentralized group of people. It's weird, and your revenue depends on that. I mean, essentially, you're a live performer and you get tipped or people subscribe to that content, but you're like working for them. We talk about people being slave to the algorithm, but it's even more like people being employed by chat. Like,
Yeah, it does
you
feel
know,
that way, and it's a hard
you gotta like
position to
let them
win.
when you're gonna know when you're gonna come in late and stuff. Like, that's where a Discord comes in handy. Sorry,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
Yeah, like well, yeah, not only are you kind of working for them, but you still have to remain and be your own boss. So you have to find this interesting balance of I need to give them what they want, but if I let them control the entire stream, then I'm no longer me anymore. And you have to you have to set
Right.
expectations and your
Maintain
pay
control.
view
You have to
ratio and yeah. You
assert your
got to still tell them.
dominance. We should make some memes that like assert your dominance in streaming by X, Y, or Z by turning chat to follower only.
Oh my gosh,
Flex
be
your mod
hilarious.
powers. That actually is not a bad
There's some
idea.
good funny content in there for sure. I could see
Yeah,
that.
I kind of want to explore that.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna
But
have
then
some
you
time to do some more fun creative stuff as well and not worry about
oh,
like everything being directly tied to revenue. We can try to do some more of the brand marketing. I was listening to Seth Godin, can never remember how to pronounce his name. Seth Godin, I think.
I don't know.
He's the famous marketing guy. He's written a whole bunch of books like how to market, I think. Um, and if you watch any of his podcasts or YouTube videos, it's always very helpful, very educational. But he talked today. He was I was listening to an older episode, but he was talking about brand marketing versus value marketing. I can't remember the other word, but essentially, like brand marketing is a logo or a, a Budweiser commercial, something you can't directly tie towards revenue, like this is revenue generating, versus like content you're creating or something that makes directly impacts revenue and growth that you can tie into like, hey, this is where we're paying off, where it's paying off. So I think that is kind of what we've been doing, like making a lot of really purposeful stuff, like events you can come to and network, the Tribe of Gold subscription, things that are marketing too, but it's generating revenue for the business to keep going so Tribe can keep growing. So now we can do more of the fun stuff and just do let's get more people in here. Let's expand this, help the moderator team as well. Stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm excited. Excited. It's a new age in Triba.
And Sam, I really loved how you said that you have been learning, but you've been doing. And the doing part can be so hard, but like you made a really good point with that. Like if there's something you're trying to do or grow, you got to do it. You can't just sit and think about it all the time. It's good to think and plan, but there's at some point you need to be doing so that you can find those iterations, so you can discover where you need to be and how to make it
True.
work. Because if you're not trying and failing and learning, you're not making any movement, and you're not getting any closer to where you want to be.
Yeah, even if it's not fully fleshed out and you just have so many different ideas in your head, pick one of those ideas and go with it. Like, try it out. Don't put too much work in it and be afraid to just walk away. But if it's not working, walk away and try something else. Fail fast, fail often, fail early, and you'll learn from it. I think that's the best way to just get experience. And who knows, some of these guys I know in Triba have done really, really well with one of their first 2 ideas. But most people I know who have been successful have gone through a whole bunch of startups, have had a lot of ideas, and that's how they've learned.
Yeah, you learn most from the experience.
Yeah. Well, we will wrap up the stream. We got 5 more minutes, but I think it's okay to end early today. I don't think many people watch the full-length VOD, but we got a lot of great clips from this, so I'm excited to get all these out there. Thanks, B.
I really enjoyed the format, having Emma chatting and hearing from you. And I'm sorry, I missed her name that came in earlier. But having
Kayla.
having Kayla give her opinion too, because there's so many different approaches to it, and everyone has different methods, and you have to find your own style. And again, like Emma said, what's your brand, what's your values, what are you trying to say? And it was really great being able to kind of gather all those different perspectives.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thanks Emma as well and Kayla for sharing. And we have some new followers on Twitch. We got Andy Prolo, Scooby Doo, Carly, Little Rabbit Paws, and Gigi Dillon. Thanks for the follow. And Russ616. That was actually like a little while ago. But yeah, we are at 176 followers on Twitch. So
very nice.
We also are affiliate now. Speaking of which, but not that it really matters. I'd rather people sub on Discord to help us grow that way. We have a lot more cool stuff, but B, maybe you can help me with the emotes, setting that up. We have tons of animated emotes.
Yeah, you should already have everything you need. Just need to size them right.
Sizing them, yeah.
Because you can get on Twitch, you'll get free emotes that people can get just from following. They can use it in your chat. They can't use them anywhere else. Or they subscribe and then they have some fun ones to use other places. So if we can think of some fun ones that people will want to use and engage with other people with, then I think that'd be a good approach for
Should we just take the top ones that are in Triba?
You could do
the most frequently used ones that we've seen, and then just make them into Twitch size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like 112 by 112.
Cool.
I would do that. Yeah, use your popular ones and get them on there, and you can always change them later. So.
All right, if you guys need streaming help and advice, if you're trying to set up your stream, B's an expert mixer partner and a professional Twitch streamer. So hit her up on Discord, just tag BU in the content creation channel. We got lots of great discussions, and like I said, clips on how to do this kind of stuff yourself. So feel free to check that out and go to triba.community to see all the stuff Triba offers for free, and check out the gold subscription if you want to join and support our community. That's all for today, guys. We're going to run the trailer, and be sure to follow us on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks, B. Shout out as well to B's BU.BUTV, twitch.tv/BUTV. I'll put it in the chat.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, that's it, guys. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.